and welcome to this Business Solutions Magazine podcast. I'm Jim Roddy, the president of Jameson Publishing and Business Solutions Magazine. Thank you for joining us. As always, we're here to provide actual information on how VARs can sell more products, penetrate thriving vertical markets, and improve their business operations. Our discussion topic today is, what should an ISV look for when selecting a processor? And our guest today to help give us an inside perspective is Roy Banks. He's the CEO at Accelerated Payment Technologies. Roy, thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, good to have you here. So, Roy, let's cut to the chase right away. Can you talk about what should an ISV look for when selecting a processor to integrate with?
Sure. An ISV should first and foremost look for a partner, not a vendor. A processing partner is more than just a supplier or a vendor of payment processing solutions. A partner really supports the delivery of payment processing services with technology, infrastructure, and the resources to help an ISV sell their solutions, as well as support and service their customers. We add value to an ISV solution. The right processing partner enhances the value of an ISV solution to their end customers. In other words, the processing partner solution should seamlessly and natively integrate with an ISV solution, enabling it to process and manage payments securely and reliably. When you think about it, this partner should also reduce the ISV's PCI compliance burden and simplify the integration of payment processing technology within their software. The right processing partner will demonstrate how they will help the ISV develop a meaningful revenue stream by offering integrated payment technology within their solution.
Got it. So it's obviously not just one thing, or there's one relationship that you have to have, or one key thing. So there's a few things I want to follow up with you on. And so can you give some advice to an ISV who really wants to cut through the fog around residuals so they can find out who's offering the best rates? Because it seems like everybody talks about that. What's the best way that an ISV can find out what is all behind those residuals?
Absolutely. The most important thing to consider when evaluating residual revenue rates or share from a payment processor is, are they being transparent and do they give full disclosure? A payment provider should be able to clearly define and state how the residual revenue stream is being calculated, as well as what is included and excluded from those calculations. Some providers play shell games by offering commission rates that are based off of net revenue rather than gross revenue. In these cases, the provider can offer what may appear to be a higher commission rate, but in actuality are lower due to expenses that are being netted off revenue before a commission is even being calculated and paid. So while residual revenue rates are important, a savvy ISV will not only focus on the rate, but also how their payment technology partner can help them penetrate and truly monetize their client base with payment processing services.
And so what are some specifics inside of that they should look for? You gave some words in there like net versus gross. What are just some highlight things that an ISV should look for, when they're trying to forge a relationship?
Yeah, so for example, when you look at like gross revenue, gross revenue, and when you look at a commission rate share off of gross revenue, let's say it's 50% or 30%, you're actually going to get half of whatever that payment provider is earning in terms of top line revenue. When you go down, and you might see somebody offer, like something out of it's not uncommon to see like 70% residual revenue shares. You see 70%. Well, that 70%, they're doing it off of net revenue. That's after the payment provider has built in or padded into their expenses all these other expenses, some of which may be phantom expenses or a way to pad their margin, if you will. And so 70% may actually equal 30% off of gross revenue when they're basing it off of net revenue. So it's really just when it becomes so much of the focus, that's when an ISV really needs to pay particular attention, because the other thing to realize is that cutting through the fog is not just getting to the number, but it's also understanding what are the ancillary value and services that the payment provider's bringing to the partner or to the ISV along with that commission rate. Because as we all know, nothing comes free. Someone's going to pay for that, for those services. And so it's important to understand not only the commission rate, but everything else that comes along with it.
Got it. Okay, so if somebody's just selling everything based on price or a percent, you kind of have to say, wait, there's got to be more than this. You shouldn't just buy based on price.
Right, and the thing is if you're giving, and if they're acting like they're giving away the farm, they're not.
Okay.
They're not, because they have a business to run. They have the same expenses that the ISV has to run their business. And so while you may think you're getting a higher rate, someone's paying for all those expenses. I always equate it to like going to Las Vegas. You know who's winning in Vegas? It's the casinos, because look how big their casinos are, and someone's got to pay for all those lights that they keep on. So,
right.
So it's definitely you have to look at that with suspicion when you're getting these rates that are that sound too good to be true.
Got it. Okay, so do your due diligence. That's good advice. You mentioned PCI compliance earlier, and every ISV, every reseller in the retail IT channel is concerned about PCI compliance. I want to get your take on PCI compliance issues. Will be solved by some of the new technology solutions. Do you think they're going to negate PCI, and do you think ultimately is PCI compliance going to have a negative or positive impact on the retail IT channel?
I really like this question because it gives me an opportunity to really kind of bring things into perspective as it relates to PCI and some of the misinterpretation that PCI receives in the market. The first thing is the payment processing industry must remain vigilant and proactive in fighting payment fraud and hackers. That's not going away. Sensitive payment data is and always will be a high-value target of nefarious forces. The successful compromise or breach of sensitive payment data may often result in huge financial payoffs to criminals, which give them more incentive to keep going after payment data. And also it inflicts tremendous harm to the payment and processing industry, which could compromise an ISV solution. So the tactics, tools, and methods used by hackers, criminals, and fraudsters are constantly evolving. It's because of these reasons that PCI compliance and payment industry security best practices will continue to be an indispensable framework for protecting sensitive payment data. As new threats evolve, PCI compliance standards will continue to evolve as well, hopefully not only on a reactive basis but also on a proactive basis. So the application of PCI compliance will always have a positive impact on the retail IT channel as its aim is to really enhance data security and protect sensitive payment data and really secure ISV software. But on the other hand, the implementation of PCI compliance standards, they can have a negative effect on the retail IT channel because they require a tremendous amount of technology and information that has to be managed. And that's why it's important to partner with a sophisticated integrated payment processor who takes the pain and burden of PCI compliance away from the ISV and ultimately their merchant customer. So working with the right payment processor can really give you the benefit of PCI compliance without the headache and the burden that's often associated with implementation.
Got it. So you're saying an ISV doesn't have to go about it alone. And one of the themes in all these executive-to-executive podcasts we've done here in Business Solutions is lean on your distributors, lean on your vendors, and that's kind of what you're saying here is it is a headache, there is a burden, but the ISV doesn't have to take that on. They just have to partner with the right vendor. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's an opportunity to outsource what is not your domain competence to someone who has substantial and deep domain competence in PCI compliance. And so why bother with it when you can choose a partner that's very steeped and has proven experience and capabilities in managing PCI on your behalf?
Super. One more thing I want to talk to you about is mobility. So mobility is a hot topic. Do you have any special advice for ISVs who are looking to develop mobile versions of their software?
Yeah, I love technology, and I love the pace of technology and the change. So as with any new technology, especially those built to support commerce, ISVs must make data security in the mobile environment a top priority. Mobile introduces an unprecedented nexus of risks, issues, and complexities that ISVs need to evaluate and pay close attention to as they develop solutions in that environment. So if an ISV intends to enable their mobile solution to support payment processing or even to handle sensitive customer information, then they should find a payment processing partner or a solution that has domain expertise in payment security technology and experience within the mobile payment environment. That's really what has come. With all this frenetic technology comes the risks of security, and so ISVs really need to pay attention and make security their top priority.
Got it. Okay, so when they're talking with selecting a processor, they've got to dig into, again, get beyond just the residual conversation, talk about security.
Exactly, because the thing about a payment processor are those that just provide, merchant accounts, and then there are those that provide actual technology and security and platform. Get someone who's going to provide you with both. because someone who has expertise, because someone that does not have mobile expertise, that individual, that entity is not going to be a good partner for you. You need somebody that has demonstrated that they've done business in the mobile environment, that they have technology that caters to that mobile environment.
Got it. Roy, we have about 30 seconds left, and so BSM is all about providing VARs and ISVs with actionable information. What one action would you recommend to ISVs?
I would definitely go back and tell you that I would find a partner that you can trust, that has proven themselves as a leader, that has domain expertise in the payment processing industry, that has technology and services. Really focus on someone who's demonstrated that, and also make sure you identify and work with a payment processing partner that can offer more than just commission rates. Really focus on, do they provide me with marketing support? Do they provide me with excellent customer support, and also to my merchants? Are they there for me 24/7? Do they provide me with the information I need to maintain an awareness of what's going on in the industry? Do they report on my business? Really, it's about partnership, and it's about not just extracting revenue from another. It's about how do we build a partnership going forward and help complete your solution as an ISV, take it to market so that you can be the leader in the market that you're serving.
Excellent. That's good advice. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. Hopefully our discussion has given you some insight into what ISVs should look for when selecting a processor. Before we go, I want to say thanks to Roy Banks for joining us today. Roy, thank you very much. That was great info.
Thank you for having me, Jim. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thanks to you so much for listening to this podcast. Our goal at Business Solutions is to provide growth strategies for the IT channel. For more information, please visit our website at www.bsminfo.com. Thanks again for listening, everybody.